we've got another one. Okay, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. In today's video, it's going to be another pageant video, and we are going to be discussing another what to look for topic. And we're going to be talking about what to look for in a pageant director. And nowadays, I feel like so many people are directors, and y'all, directing is hard. It's very, 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 very hard to be a director. You have to recruit if you don't have a recruitment liaison on your board. You have to budget, you have to oversee all of these things. And I have never directed a pageant, but I do have a performance degree in music and dance, so I did a lot of student directing in undergrad for various shows and performances, so I feel like it's similar. Obviously, the student to adults difference is one of the biggest ones. But I feel like I have an idea, a glimpse into what it is like to direct a production. And even still, when I was an undergrad, it was a lot of work and it was stressful, and there are a bunch of people under you that you have to lead, and you have to budget and direct and be creative and come up with all of these ideas, and everything is coming out of you, and you have to delegate it to other people if you have a board under you. A lot of directors don't have boards, don't have support systems, and they're just kind of doing everything on their own. And a lot of them, as they're prepping for the pageant, they're trying to also put interns and volunteers and a board in place as they get closer to the pageant day, which is, I would imagine, very stressful as well. So I say all that to say that I appreciate directors and I applaud them and all of the hard work that they do. But on the same token, I feel like contestants need to be more, I feel like contestants need to hold directors more accountable to how they move. Because directors expect top quality contestants and well-rounded contestants. So contestants in turn should expect no less from their directors. So as contestant to contestant, as someone who has competed for a while, I've learned a lot over the years, and as usual, I want to share those things with y'all. So I want to give you some tips on what to look for in a pageant director as you sign up for different pageants and as you think about competing in various systems. I want to give you some things to put on your mental checklist that will, let you know, hey, this director has their stuff together. Therefore, this pageant production will be successful and organized and fair and all of those good things, right? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tips to give you and what to look for in a director. So let's go ahead and get into the first one. All right. Number 1 is competition experience. Not necessarily yielding results and placing, like I mentioned in last week's video, which was what to look for in coaches. I feel like with directors, you can be a little bit more lenient on if they've placed or actually had titles. I do think it's a beautiful thing when former title holders move into that position of directorship, because they completely know what's going on, they know what it takes and all that stuff. But I don't think that directors necessarily have to have yielded results on stage. But I do think that it is important for them to have competition experience, and that is typically a red flag for me if I come across a director who has never competed in a pageant before, because directors are usually working with girls and taking them to, guiding them through the state, national, or international level of pageantry. So how are you going to guide me through something that you have never done yourself? That's something that I'm really, really big on. I prefer not, and I haven't yet, but I prefer to be led by people who have done what I'm trying to do and who have gone where I'm trying to go, if that makes sense. So if you're my director and if you're guiding me and mentoring me to, a national or international level of competition, but you've never competed yourself, I'm going to take things that you say, I can only take them so seriously. And if it's not like admin related, like helping you get your paperwork on time or whatever, but the directors that have never competed trying to advise on wardrobe or giving pep talks or whatever, in my opinion, it kind of just goes in one ear and out the other because you've never done it before. So it's almost a little difficult for me to fully receive what you're trying to give to me if you've never had that experience. And I know that may be a little harsh, but that's honestly just how I feel about it. And I think that it's an important thought to keep in the back of your head. You want to be led by people who have done what you're trying to do and are going where you're trying to go. So pageant competition experience for directors is very important to me. I think it should be very important in general. If you're a director and if you haven't competed yet, I highly recommend that you get on it, girl, because it will give you so much perspective, so much perspective into preparation and what your girls actually go through and experience on that stage. And I promise you that once you do it, you will have so much more empathy and perspective, and you can really, have more authentic and raw conversations with the girls that you direct, because now you have a shared experience, and that will help you level up as a director, because in my opinion, there are too many directors who have not competed in a pageant. So that's the first one. The second one, which is extremely important, I think, is show production experience. If you're thinking about doing a pageant and it's the director's first year of directing, and if they don't already have a production team in place, and if they don't have production experience, I would say pass, girl, and see how it goes, and you can sign up for next year. I don't believe in being anyone's guinea pig in pageantry or in life when it's the first year out and if they have no prior experience. The director's role is so multifaceted, and that production aspect is very important. And if they're new to that, it is most likely already going to be an overwhelming year for them straight out the gate. So I think for directors to have that show production experience prior to said pageant, whether it's like my experience in directing shows in, undergrad, or if they're coming from a Broadway or like theatrical experience, just knowing their way around production and around stage and the aspects of putting on a good show, an organized show, is very important. And they should have that before stepping into that directorship role, because at the end of the day, y'all, pageantry is show business. It's a production. It's lights, camera, action, makeup. It's not all that different from, stage plays and Broadway shows and all of that stuff. So that production aspect, that performance aspect is important for the director, whether they have been a performer themselves, or they've been, a stagehand, or if they've directed other shows in the past. That production aspect is very important, because once the show starts, a million things are going, and if they don't know how to maneuver around that, things get discombobulated very quickly. So make sure that your director has some show production experience. Now, you're probably wondering, like, how do I go about figuring all of this out? How do I go about it? Do I just straight up ask them? I would say yes, as long as it's done in a respectful manner. You can always Google people, social media them, straight up ask about their experience, because when you sign up, they're going to ask you about yourself. and your pageant experience and what have you, and what drew you to the pageant. So you can ask those same questions in return. So that's that. The third thing that I want you to be on the lookout for is the organization of events and dates. I think that it is very important. Oh, excuse me, gassy. Blair's in here moving a lot. Oh, Jesus. Okay, what was I saying? I think it's very important that when you sign up for a pageant, that you're able to email the director or go to the website and see all the information that you need, the dates, the areas of competition, the entry fee cost, the hotel, all of that stuff. When you sign up, you should be able to see all of the information in some area, whether that's email, website, social media page, or whatever. You should be able to see all of the information that you need up front to determine if the pageant is something that you want to compete in. If you don't see nothing on the website, and if you contact the director and if they're like, oh, we're not sure yet, or we're still solidifying, no, don't be advertising no pageant until the dates and the money and the event and all of that is in place, because girls need to know these things. So make sure that the organization of the events and the dates and the entry fee and all the information is already there for you in your face. So you don't have to, worry about when it is or how much it costs. Like, those basic things should already be available, and the director should already know those things. And all of that stuff should already be solidified. So make sure that the organization and the dates are on point and that they're already there. I think that's the organization part, and the happenings. A director knowing that is a very good characteristic up front. So that's that. The fourth thing is timely communication. So whether you're emailing or calling or whatever, and I understand, directors work, they have lives, and a lot of them, don't get paid for being a director. A lot of the times directors are paying to be directors, those franchise fees and all of that stuff. So I understand, but there still is a level of business professionalism to pageantry. So you want to make sure that when you have a question, or when you're trying to communicate, or when you're trying to submit paperwork or whatever to your director, that they communicate with you in a timely fashion, and that you, as well as a contestant, are communicating in a timely fashion. So you want to make sure that your director is respectfully accessible, and that they can, communicate with you in a timely fashion. The next thing that I want you to look for is if there is a board involved. Let's say if there's a director, if there's a secretary, if there is a contestant liaison, all of those people that the director delegates to. I would say, if you can, check out the interactions between the director and the board members. Do the board members respect the director? Is there mutual respect all around? Does everyone on the board work well together as a team? Do they communicate with each other effectively? Are they running like, a well-oiled machine, honey, or is it some squeaky screws up in there? Because at the end of the day, these people are going to be guiding and mentoring you and helping you get, whatever that next level of titleship is. So you want to make sure that the people that are leading you work well together, and that they respect the director, their leader, that, no one's resentful, that the director is appreciative of, all of the board members and the people under them that they're delegating to. So check out the relationship of, the whole board, if there is a board in place. How does your potential director interact with other directors? Because just like pageant girls be having, tea and beef, directors are no different. So you want to make sure that your director is well respected and cordial among, their colleagues as well, because you want to be led by someone who is cordial and respectful. So that's something else that you can look for. The last and final thing that I have for you is foreshadowing your experience with the director. I firmly believe that your experience as a title holder, or not a title holder, but that your experience as a contestant um, will reveal and foreshadow your experience as the title holder. So if you're bumping heads with the director all the time, if y'all are just on different vibes, if they, you know, aren't timely in their communication, if things are always changing in the pageant, if you win this pageant and if this becomes your director, it's not going to be any different. Things don't just, people just don't get their act together because you won the title, you know? So if things are rocky and if the vibe is off as a contestant, it's going to be that way as a title holder, boo. So foreshadow those experiences and those interactions, because however they treat you as a contestant, they're going to treat you 10 times that as the title holder. So make sure that, you know, the vibes are good from the beginning, because how it is in the beginning is going to be how it is once you win. So that's all that I have for y'all. I hope you enjoyed the video and that it was helpful and insightful. Comment down below, engage with me, follow me on social media, and as always, you can check out the description box below. There I have my Calendly link where you can book pageant sessions with me. And I look forward to seeing y'all in the next video. And, you know, stay queenly, stay winning, stay practicing, flourish, honey. Get all the crowns and titles that you can get. And I'll see y'all in the next video.